Joining us now, Texas Congressman Lance Gooden, who serves on the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman, thank you for joining us. Listen, do you, as someone who has the authority, or at least will be charged with investigating if leadership decides, do you have any concern over these strikes against these drug vessels?
You know, I don't. As long as President Trump is running the military, I am very confident that we're in great hands. I had concern over the last 4 years of Joe Biden with our open borders and with all of the law breaking that was happening, with the rapes and the murders and the crime that was going through the roof due to our open borders. And I don't recall any of my Democrat colleagues even recognizing that we had a problem, much less condemning it. So to see them talking about blowing up drug smuggling terrorist boats in Venezuela as if that is some crisis when they were silent during the 4 years of Biden is really just kind of an empty complaint in my view. And I'm offended by that. And I don't believe the American people are taking it seriously, because the American people remember when the borders were open and we were suffering through crime and rampant illegal immigration.
Yeah, Congressman, it was the Maryland dad. Now it's the shipwrecked sailors. Such great mental gymnastics there, Olympic level, really. But Democrats are trying to impeach Pete Hegseth over these strikes. If they do retake the House in the midterms, God forbid, are you concerned that they may be successful?
Absolutely, I'm concerned. If we lose the House, they'll impeach President Trump. They'll go through the entire cabinet, and they'll make a spectacle of the last 2 years of President Trump's administration, which is why it's so critical that we keep the House, which is why it's critical that we deliver for the American people, that we fulfill our promise, one of which by President Trump was to secure the homeland and close the border, which he's done. The Border Patrol has not released illegal immigrants or terrorists back into this nation. In the last 9 months, we have actually fulfilled our promise to the American people to secure the nation. And what they're doing now is a result of that. The Venezuelan transnational drug cartels from Mexico to Colombia to Venezuela down into Ecuador, they're having to use boats because the borders are no longer wide open. So this is a victory. This is a symptom of success. And that's President Trump's leadership, and House Democrats are furious with that because they prefer lawlessness and an open border, which is what we had for 4 years.
Congressman, it's Nicole Sapphire, and I want to switch gears a little bit here. I want to get your take on the looming deadline for the Affordable Care Act subsidies. They're set to expire, as you know, obviously, at the end of the month. But some of your Republican colleagues seem to be supporting an extension. Watch.
I've heard so many people in the Republican conference rail on the Affordable Care Act, rail on Obamacare, rail on the premium tax credits. And if you want to criticize something, that's okay, as long as you have a better alternative. I don't like the fact that the money all goes to the insurance company and rather than having some go to the individual. But right now, with a cliff upon us at the end of the year, I think we have to extend it out a minimum of 2 years with guardrails, with income caps.
So, Congressman, where do you stand on the subsidies? And if you are against extending them, even in the short term, what's your solution to offset the rise that's going to come in premiums in the beginning of the year up to 150%? Texas being a state that will be impacted with higher premiums because they don't have the Medicaid expansion.
Sure. First of all, the Republicans that are supportive of extending this, they're saying it for political reasons because they feel as if it's a political issue that we can't win. I don't believe they really believe it's the right thing to do, because it's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to bring down costs, to stop lining the pockets of insurance companies, to join President Trump's war on insurance companies that have driven up costs. Doctors are not getting paid, and we're just feeding the beast here. And that's what happened. Democrats put this expiration date on this. If it was so critical that it be permanent, why did they put an expiration date on it? And if you recall, this is what they shut down the government over. They caved, they opened the government because they realized they were on the losing end of this. And here we are with this deadline. I believe that the Speaker is releasing a plan that we're going to vote on before the new year that puts money in the pockets of Americans, lets them make the decision, and takes away the subsidy to insurance companies, which they have abused. The ones who are going to win here are not the American people, it's the insurance companies. They're making money hand over fist, and it's up to the federal government. Sadly, I can't believe I'm putting them in charge of this, but it's up to us in Congress to do something about that and not just extend the problem, and that's what extending this subsidy will do.
So that indicates that there's no expansion of the subsidies in what we can expect to see coming up soon?
You can expect me not to vote to extend subsidies. I can't predict how the vote will go down or what will happen, but I can assure you I'm not going to vote to extend some subsidies to insurance companies.
Just put the money back in the hands of the American people. That's what a lot of folks over at the White House are saying. Congressman Kevin Corke with you. Former special counsel Jack Smith has been subpoenaed by the House Judiciary Committee for a closed-door deposition on December 17th, supposedly focusing on Smith's work targeting President Trump. You sit on that committee, and so I sort of a two-part question. Number one, what's the goal of the deposition? And two, what, if anything, do you or should we expect to come of it?
Yes, I'm on the House Judiciary Committee. I'll be involved with that deposition. It's next week on Wednesday, I believe. The goal of this is to get information, to conduct our investigation that Jack Smith has not been cooperative with since we took power, since President Trump took office. And in fact, during the Biden years, we were asking for information that the Biden administration was not forthcoming with. And so we requested Jack Smith sit in a deposition, provide information. He refused to do that. He said, we're going to offer to come in for a hearing where members only get 5 minutes and it's more circus-like. I suspect that we'll have that hearing someday, but the deposition allows for an hour each of questioning in private without the cameras where we can really get down to the facts and go back and forth, see what his answers are to our questions. We can't talk about those questions before they're asked or even after they're asked until the committee agrees to release this, but I suspect that it will be very informative. I think it will direct our investigation of this witch hunt, of this two-tiered justice system that we experienced under the Biden days. And I think ultimately the American people will see that this investigation was a hoax, was a witch hunt, and it was fortunately unsuccessful. It did not take down President Trump, but it did scar the Justice Department. And we're working to resolve that and provide sunlight for the American people so they can make their own conclusion.
Congressman Lance Gooden, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.